Welcome to Project Comedy, a podcast by and for military veterans doing stand-up comedy, turning military banter into quality stand-up comedy acts. We might be veterans, but our comedy aims to get everybody laughing. Turn on the news, pick up a paper. Hell, just try and live life at the moment and there's not much to laugh about. If it's not the cost of living crisis, it's the war in Ukraine. Politics just makes you want to puke, and every day there's another reported attack on someone. So comedy is essential to keep the horrors of the world at bay. In fact, can you turn the horrible stuff that happens every day into something light-hearted? Think of it as community service. We all have to face nasty things, so when we encounter them, could we enable people to have some levity and take the sting out of it? To find that out, I'm joined by Gabriel Murphy, the man that put pitch black into dark humour, and I'm Jay Saunders, the man whose assistant's dog is far better house trained than I am. How you doing, mate?
Mate, I will never get bored of your introductions of me. Apart from
I still enjoy doing it.
Mate, Pitch Black is a belting film.
Oh, mate, the number of times I've watched it.
It's a gas film.
As I said in the intro, mate, it's a depressing time for everybody at the moment. I think that's why I really enjoy having my comedy and even just putting something on the telly. And I think the pair of us, we've ended up, amongst the ambassador group, we've ended up turning our own personal dark, horrible moments into humour. I mean, the first half of my 10-minute, one of my 10-minute sets is about living with PTSD and finding the funny in it. And you've dropped in gags about your PTSD.
Oh, sorry.
Does that help you, or is it?
I honestly think it has helped me a lot. And I think the suicidal gags that I've done, you know, it really has kind of lightened it a lot because, and I think this sort of relates in a little bit, like if anyone's ever watched Inside by Bo Burnham, you know, he touches on it quite a hefty lot.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that, you know, if you can make a light of something, it lightens the load of the person who's saying it, you know.
Absolutely. Because the golden rule there, suicide's for quitters.
Well, yeah. And I mean, if you shit at life, you know, do
it. The one you threw at me was when we were talking about how many suicide attempts I'd had, and then you asked me how many gigs I'd had. I went, fucking hell, mate, you're better at comedy than suicide.
Yeah.
I am going to have to
crack on with something that you're good at, isn't it? I honestly, you know, and going off my experiences, I mean, like, my PTSD mainly comes from my two best friends that I've ever had committing suicide.
Yeah.
And I say committing suicide. You shouldn't say committing suicide, should you? It's a bit of thing. Successfully performing suicide, because committing suicide was back in the days when it was technically illegal. You know, back in the days when it was illegal to be gay. So if you took your own life, you got buried in the prison, and that was the reason why you committed suicide. You know, and you were invoked into the prison for all eternity. You know, on whichever realm of existence you wish to believe in. But my two friends who killed themselves, I made a joke out of one of them because it was the whole thing about like stringing yourself up. You know, the army's idea of like post-traumatic care or something like that was to make sure that you had a sturdy bar in your wardrobe.
It's such a sick joke. I fucking love it.
It's very dark. That is one of my darkest jokes that I do.
And the other one that follows up is when you did the when you had to play the enemy as an Irishman, And who would have thought the IRA gave you better aftercare than the MOD? That is fucking beautiful.
And in fairness, they did, because and the joy of that one is that the soldiers cared more about the soldiers than the MOD did.
Yeah,
and I honestly think that will go on in life through, no matter what happens. I think the soldiers are the only ones who actually care for the soldiers.
And I think this takes us into the fact that there's nothing you can't have humour with. There is this so-called woke brigade, this so-called cancel culture and what have you. You can always find a way to tell a joke about it. And some of these subjects we're going to be covering today, you can tell jokes about them. It's your intent that is the most important thing. It's not just the way you deliver the line and what have you. What are you trying to say? You're not making light of people taking suicide. It's actually trying, that is a beautiful moment of dark humor of, oh, fucking hell, yeah, let's compare and contrast what's actually happening here. And you can do that with any subject that comes along.
Yeah, it's like Jimmy Carr's one about like pedophilia, isn't it? It's like, and I love the way how he sets it up, and he's like, if you're a person of color, you can joke about race. If you're a homosexual, you can joke about sexuality. So there's two pedophiles in a bar. Like that. Yeah, I forget the setup of it, but it's brilliant. Like how he is.
Well, let's jump into a couple of those, because this is one of the things I love about the comedy circuit. You run into people from every walk of life, and it's made you go, do you know what? I've heard their material and their struggles. I'm going to start introducing some of their struggles into my set from the other side, because it's a horrible world we live in. People shouldn't have to live through things like that. Homophobia. As two straight men, allegedly from my case, I mean, I can't be straight if I'm not doing anything.
As straight as the Navy can get you.
It's only gay if you push back. I think that's becoming my catchphrase on this bloody podcast.
You're gonna have to change that, mate, because it's not if you push back. Because if you were fucking on the end of a pier,
it's how much I have to back up is the problem, mate. So
see, for me, it's only gay if you maintain eye contact. If you're looking over your shoulders and somebody's bombing you, you're into that.
Is it really gay if you send flowers the following day?
I had a mate who he sent me, obviously it was like a meme text message, but he was like, is it gay that I've put kisses on the end of a message? He was like, it depends on what you were saying. He was like, picture of me cock.
I find homophobia just such a bizarre thing. I mean, we were in the services, and loads of people think that the military is a massively homophobic community. Right. I remember back in '99, I was a mid-seniority lieutenant, and I had to read the code of social conduct out to my division. So that's when it became legal to be gay in the service. It was never an issue.
Ironically, the exact same time I joined.
Well, I turned it into a joke at the time. I said, it's right. So it's 1999.
Incidentally, by the way, I'm okay.
Well,
it was just weird. It was just a coincidence.
I remember saying to my division, I said, look, it's 1999. It's now legal to be gay. Relax. You only got to worry when it's 2019 and it's going to be compulsory for the Navy to be gay. That's where we've got the problem.
It was just mental. Like the whole thing of like homophobia is just so bizarre. It's like, like the vast majority of fellas will happily pull the middle out themselves to two girls kissing, but the idea of two fellas Just holding hands just makes them want to vomit.
Do you know what this?
It can't be the other way. It can't be. It just can't be.
This links me into the next subject. Because transphobia. Because there's a couple of ladies on the circuit that are trans, and I don't understand why people get so worked up about trans, especially blokes getting upset about somebody being trans, and I'm still trying to work out why they get so upset.
I personally don't see how an operation could completely change your entire life. So, I mean, for me, if you want to do it, do it. It's completely fine. Whatever you want to do. Is it going to do anything? Personally, I fucking doubt it. You know, like, I want to be a millionaire. Is putting more zeros in my fucking overdraft gonna do anything? No. You know, but
again, it goes back to that point of, if it's making them happy and their
if it makes them happy,
appearance makes them feel like the person they are, well, what's the fucking problem?
I mean, I'm and like I said, I'm all for that. Personally, I don't think ultimately it will change anything, because and the weird thing is as well is that I sound now like I'm anti-genderist or whatever, but if you put my argument on the other boot, like, so changing your gender will actually affect the outcome of your life, right? So therefore you think that a gender actually makes your life better. I don't think it does.
But that's where we can find the humor, isn't it? I mean, that's sort of like gender. Okay, so this isn't so much about the trans thing, but I for example, pronouns amuses the fuck out of me, and most of them I don't have a problem with.
Americans are brilliant with this.
When they end up turning around going, the three big ones I have no issue with. Whatever you want to identify as. If you want to be he, him, she, her, they, them, I do not have a problem. It's when they come out with XE, XS, what the fuck? It looks like you've fallen on your fucking keyboard. If you want to identify, mate, I want to identify as a fucking sex god. I'm not allowed to. I want my pronouns to be sexy motherfucker, Jay Saunders. I'm not like, and nobody's going to accept it. You're not going to accept it. As
understanding as I am as well, I don't understand non-binary.
Yeah.
I don't get that. I have never been a 1 or a 0. So technically, is that am I non-binary? I don't get it.
You can still play the humor card, isn't it? It's sort of like, the intent is, it's not I'm complaining about other people. It's talking about what we see, how we feel, without insulting the other person. But so you can take it to fucking extremes. People that identify as fucking ponies. What the fuck? I mean, if you want to do that, go ahead. But it's still, what the fuck are you doing? That makes no sense. There was a guy in America. He identified as an amputee. So he was trying to convince a doctor to take his fucking leg off. What the fuck? This is.
I have heard of, and shock horror, it was in America. Also, fuck you, America, because you're not listening to us.
They are.
Are they now?
Yeah, we are getting American listeners. It's our second largest audience now.
Second largest?
Yes.
Right. Tune the fuck in, cop the fuck on, right? Have a bit of a debrief about what we're saying about you. Some fella in America, he was like a 70-year-old fella, and he wanted to assign himself as an 18-year-old girl.
Yes. Yeah.
How is that a thing? I have no idea how that was a thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, no, I'm not joking about this, mate. This actually happened. Right. So I've got an assistance dog.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I've got my assistance dog is quite dark and quite horrible. But There are some lunatics out there with what is called an emotional support animal.
Yeah.
I mean, this all kicked off for me once, where somebody was trying to tell me they had a PTSD assistant cat, and I just went, "Shut the fuck up! You can't train cats. It might give you some comfort, but you can't train a cat to tell you when to take your medication, drag you home when you need it, wake you up during nightmares." It's an emotional support animal. I get that. But mate, when I was in the States, I was finding out about this person that was refused on a flight because they weren't allowed to take their emotional support peacock.
Peacock?
An emotional support peacock. I mean, I now want. There was a joke about it once. What's his name? The guy that starred in Jurassic World and what have you. He did this.
Jeff Goldblum?
The latest ones. He also plays Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Chris something.
Chris Pratt.
Could be.
But they did a meme of it that he had an emotional support velociraptor, which was absolutely. You can find the funny in things. It's like there's a lovely lady on our circuit, trans lady on our circuit, and I love the way she introduced herself. And I'm going to make a mistake in it because she gets up there very early. She turns around and says, "So I am a trans woman. I am a trans woman in a non-monogamous relationship with blah 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 blah." Mate, the gag I'm going to have to tell about her is when she tells us at the beginning of her routine what she identifies as, makes it sound like the most bizarre form of ordering a coffee in fucking Starbucks. I have never heard so many things come out at the beginning of it that it does sound like some mocha recipe. It's absolutely wonderful.
Mate, and this is another thing that I was thinking of was as well, like how gender and sexuality is becoming now the new coffee trend.
Yeah.
Like, how can you have 15 different ways to say that you want a fucking white coffee?
That's reminding me another one of your jokes about how you like the abbreviation LGBTQ+.
Oh yeah, shortening stuff. So shortening stuff from LGBTQA and whatever. It shortened it down to LGBTQ+, which was great for me because shortening stuff down because I'm a fucking idiot is brilliant. However, LGBTQ+ does sound like a TV channel. Sounds like, oh shit. I missed fucking Drag Race. Like, oh girl, just check it out on LGBTQ+1.
The other one that I enjoy talking about is not so much racism, but casual racism. But I don't know if casual racism is the right phrase. It's predominantly it is white folks that don't think they're being racist by saying what is inherently racist. So an example of that, and I did step in because I'm a gobshite. I witnessed somebody being interviewed for a bar staff position, and the person interviewing went, "Where'd you come from?" And he went, "Birmingham." And she went, "No, where'd you really come from?" Only because he was black. And she couldn't work out why that was fucking racist. I went, if it's a white or Latvian, you would not be turning around going, "Where did you come from?" It's just I couldn't get it. It's sort of like no, it is racist.
Do you know what gets me as well? Like how people from different white origins think that like being from a different white origin is a race. Like if you're English, get it straight. You're white.
Yeah.
If you're European and you're white, guess what? White.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
I had someone going on to me because I was giving out about English people, about like how, you know, typically English people are English people. So
Yep.
like rushing to queue up and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Hey, you're being racist. Like, how? I'm fucking, number one, I'm white. Number two, you're white. How am I being racist? Because you're calling English people. Is English a race? Is it? I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't aware that England was a race.
It just amuses the crap out of me. Well, sorry, it doesn't amuse the crap out. It makes me fucking angry, and I just want to take the piss. You know, stupid things like things that annoy me. So I've got a couple of brilliant little corner shops just outside of the marina I live in. Mm-hmm. One's run by a Muslim Pakistani family. The other is run by a Hindu Indian family. And when somebody in my locale goes in and goes, "Oh, you fucking Pakis," and it's sort of like, and I have found myself going, actually, he's Hindu Indian. Shows how educated you are. Pointing out their fucking ignorance, it gives me a delight in it. Where does it fucking come? Where does this superiority come from,
mate? I had it really hits a hammer into the nail there. And anyone who's worked in the ambulance service in and around the Greater Manchester area will cotton onto this story now. There was a guy called Bob,
right?
In the I don't know whether I'm allowed to say this. Fuck it. Go on. Yeah, he was a guy called Bob in the ambulance service in Northwest Ambulance Service, and he was of Anglo-Indian descent.
Right.
And I swear to God, he was the nicest fella that you'd ever meet. And pretty much every single job that you get, and he sounded like Foghorn Leghorn as well. Okay? And every single job you'd get, he'd point at the screen and just go, "It's a bloody packet, this. It's a bloody packet, I can tell you. It's a bloody packet." And he'd sit there for the whole entire drive to the job with his arms crossed. "It's a fucking bloody packet, I can tell you."
I mean,
but I swear to God, every fella who called him a packy got it in droves, because it is so offensive to an Indian fella to be called a packy.
And this is the joy. This is the key point, isn't it? Again, we go back into intent. So, for example, I would never use the term packy in one of my sets unless I was quoting some idiot saying it. Yeah. I'm not going to use the N word. Dave Chappelle can use it as much as he wants. But if I want to joke about the same subject, I'm going to customize my language to the way I am comfortable speaking and making the point I want to make. Yeah, you say it through your own bloody voice, don't you?
Yeah, thoroughly. Well, if you can get away with it, it's entirely up to you. If you
one that sticks in my head. It was when I was at university. And during the summer holidays, I went interrailing. I burn to a crisp. I really do. I don't sunbathe well. I turn into a boiled lobster within 30 seconds. When I got back to university, ran into one of my mates in the labs. Really cracking lad, black guy. His extended family lived out in the United States. He saw me and he went, "Bloody hell, Jay, one hell of a tan on you." I went, "Oh, thanks, mate." It had come down. I was looking okay, looking quite tanned, bronzed and what have you. And "Oh, cheers, mate." And I turned around to him and I wanted to give him a similar compliment. And I went, "What do you say to a black guy?" And he just could see that look on my face. He went, "You know, I was in California. I really enjoyed it, mate. I just kept on looking at myself and I was getting blacker by the minute." Completely disarmed me. a beautiful moment. It was also the guy we went to a pub one night, and I went, bizarre question to be having, but you do that when you're a student. I turned and went, are there any advantages to being black? And he went, oh, there's one. And I went, what's that? And he turned round to some random bloke in the pub. And I went, Dave, how you doing? Dave, it's me. I go, sorry, mate, I don't know you. Went, you sure? I could have sworn, oh, I'm sorry, mate, you white guys look all the same to me. Power moment. Absolute power fucking moment. It just made me, everybody, by retelling that story, I'm not being racist in any way. There are ways and means you can play with race, even as a alleged heterosexual white male.
It's that funny. When I was in the army, I had a load of I had a couple of friends from like Africa and Jamaica and stuff like that, when I was in. And one fella I had such a solid bound with. He was absolutely belting. He was a driver and I was a mechanic. And obviously, because I was Irish, like every single job that I got given wasn't because I was a mechanic. It was because I was Irish.
Yeah.
And every single job that he got given, it wasn't because he was a driver. It was because he was black. And it was just constantly like, and we had this thing in the bar where we'd come up to us and he'd go, "Hey, Percy, you know what's happened today?" I was like, "Oh, mate, go on, tell me what's fucking happened today." I got given a job, and do you know what the job was? Fucking tell me what the job was. I had to drive some cunt from fucking A to B. And I was like, "Oh, mate, why did they fucking pick you to do that? Do you know why they picked me to do it? Tell me why they picked you to do that." Because I'm fucking black. They picked me to drive them from A to B because I'm fucking black. And I was like, "Oh, mate, do you know what they had me doing today? Oh, tell me what they had you doing today." I had to change a fucking brake shoe on, I had to pick off a shitty old brake shoe and I had to put a brand new one on. Why did they do it? It's because I'm fucking Irish. Honestly, it's because I'm fucking Irish. and we're in the bar. We're in the bar, the pair of us, just in the corner. Everyone else is having the gas. And there's me and him just going in. It's because I'm fucking black. It's because I'm fucking Irish. Yeah, people coming up to him and going, "Oh, mate, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that." Why? Because we're fucking black and Irish.
It's got to be played with.
Yeah.
How about another topic then? A really miserable one. What about abuse? And I don't care what form it's in.
Mate, the abuse thing, especially in the sexual sense.
Yeah, why not?
It seems to be only funny if it involves a young boy and a Catholic priest. Outside of that, it's not funny. But to me, all forms of abuse are funny. I've been brought up in a horrible household, and I've heard horrible stories. And kids are fucking stupid, so slap the shit out of them.
But isn't that the point? It's sort of like, look at the offender. You can make fun of the offender. Why are they so fucking weak? It's with
a big gold chain and a shiny suit and shit hair. Like Jimmy Savile wasn't sexy.
No, I mean he was
Jimmy Savile wasn't sexy. So how the fuck did he shag so many kids? Which it again reiterates my point. Kids are fucking stupid. And I remember I said to someone, right, not relating about abuse. I just said, "Oh, kids are fucking stupid." And they went, "No, they're not." And I went, "Well, they go to school to learn 2 + 2." And they went, "Yeah." And I went, right, grand. So anyone who doesn't know 2 + 2 is fucking stupid then, aren't they? And they went,
Oh, mate.
yeah. I went, grand. So kids are fucking stupid then, aren't they?
It's like that brilliant bit by the late and great Sean Locke.
Yeah.
You went, cheese string. It's not cheese. It's not fucking string. What it's got is shiny packaging because kids are fucking stupid. If it's shiny, I want it. You can still take the piss.
I'd love someone to have the bollocks to try this out on my own. However, I've took a kid into like a random fucking holistic shop where there's candles and stones and stuff, and everything they fucking saw, they wanted to buy.
Yeah.
Would they do that in a sex shop?
Oh, mate. That is bad.
No, because you take them into the fucking Disney shop and it's like, oh, I want that toy. You take them into M&S. Oh, all of a sudden, I want fucking sushi. Right? Great, lovely. You take them into fucking a jewelry shop. Oh, I want that. I want this. Take them into a fucking sweet shop. Oh, I'll have that candy cane, grand. Lovely. Take them into a sex shop. I bet they don't fucking say that they want a fist.
Mate, I can just see it now. I mean, what would a kid do if they saw the dildo collection in the lower floor of Ann Summers? Because it's sparkly and colourful.
I was just about to say, if it was fucking sparkly and colourful and fucking had a unicorn on it, they fucking have it.
That's bad. That is so bad.
Hey,
I fucking love it.
You little shit, you better fucking use it properly.
I don't know why, but it suddenly reminded me, right, it's completely unrelated, but I don't know why, it suddenly reminded me of an amazing bloke I met. I did the...
Is it unrelated?
The multi... It is massively unrelated. I did the multi-activity course.
All the fellas that know you now are shit themselves.
I did the multi-activity course up at Battleback in Lilleshall, and it's a recovery course trying to help you find I'm not going to call them diversions, but finding activities that can give you some peace and stability and what have you, and you try everything out. And one of the staff there was the guy. He was the reason the wheelchair London Marathon started. He was a rebel. He put in for it, went and did the marathon in his wheelchair. He wasn't. There was never a proper wheelchair marathon. He just did it. He also became one of the UK's biggest wheelchair basketball coaches. Fucking amazing bloke. He lost his leg to a very aggressive form of cancer. So he lost it just below the hip. Mm-hmm. And he was giving us a chat one evening about wheelchair basketball and its history. We all came in. Young lass in the front row. He just looks at her and went, "Excuse me, don't cross your legs." And she's just really embarrassed and uncrosses her legs, went, "Stop it. It's just showing off, you bitch." Because he only had the one fucking leg. And I'm there going, there you go. That's where you get the humour. That's how you disarm somebody.
Oh, man.
Where you fucking use it properly.
I had a friend who lost his leg just above the knee in Telek 1. He went, when after we went to see him, he was like, "Oh, well, technically, I'm only half legless all the time." And it was just like, shit, how can you be upset around someone who's saying they're half legless when they only have half a leg?
I can't take credit for it, but I still love it. So I'll ask the question: how many legs have you got?
2.5.
Shut up. If you've got 2 legs, you've got more legs than the average person. Mm. And that is an absolute true statistic. Yeah. If you've got 2 legs, you've got more legs than the average person.
It's like, how many friends have you got? Half of them are cunts.
Yes.
All that sort of shit, and that.
What we'll do is we'll pause for 1 second and we'll show you how you can end up joining Project Comedy.
And be like us. Woo!
Are you a veteran, or even still serving, and think you'd like to give stand-up comedy a go? Then why not join us in Project Comedy? Visit the Project Recce website, that's projectrecce.org, then click on how it works. You'll find a Register Here button in the Project Comedy section. Fill that in, and the HQ staff will soon get you connected with the Project Comedy community and its weird and wonderful ambassadors. You'll be invited to our green rooms, where if you want it, we can train you in the basics. If not, you can just come along and have a laugh with us and see what we're up to and what it gives us.
One we can't seem to escape from in the news at the moment, mate, is the cost of living crisis. With everything going up in price, things like food, electricity, and what have you. Where can you find the humour in that? Where can we be funny about the cost of living crisis?
The fact that I'm still paying for Ethiopian water.
You're paying for Ethiopian water? Fucking hell, mate, that's a long way to order a bottle.
Apparently, I've been doing it for fucking 30 odd years. that cunt owes me a pint.
One that got me was, at this precise moment, I am like many veterans. Things have caught up with me, and I am absolutely broke. I mean, I am beyond broke. And for the last couple of months, I've been using food banks, and food banks are fucking funny when you look at it. I hate the fact that they exist. I hate the fact that I was a Royal Naval officer. I commanded men, and I'm now finding myself going to somebody and asking for them to give me food. That's really, really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But I can find the fun in it, because obviously all these foods come in from donations. And we're not necessarily talking about big supermarkets and things like that giving loads of stuff. It's individual.
Just regular people throwing in whatever they can.
Mate, I didn't realise, when you actually pick up one of these bags, and it's like a surprise bag, and you take it home and you're just going, right, what can I make with whatever's in this? And I was stunned when I ended up opening, in there was a tin of Waitrose Essentials artichoke hearts. Now, that is fucking funny. I mean, why? A tin of baked beans will do me. What the fuck am I supposed to do? And why is it Waitrose Essentials artichoke hearts? What the fuck is going on?
Hey, mate, not being funny. Artichoke hearts are gorgeous.
I know, I get that, and I had a pot of hollandaise sauce because I used to be an officer, so I was able to turn them into something quite nice. But it's just who is walking around Waitrose going, you know what? I need to give a donation to the local food bank, and this is what I'm going to give. Do you know what? What will they really need? What they really need in their next donation is they need a little bit of caviar.
How Tory is it to just go in there? Do you know what the poor people need? Artichokes. How could they ever live without artichokes?
And here's another one for you, mate. I didn't realise this. So my first ever food bank collection, again, mystery bags. I bring it home, and there was a solitary toilet roll in there. And I'm just there going, oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Well, you weren't, because you were coming.
Well, no. But it's sort of like, when you actually go, hang on, that is the situation I'm in. I can't afford to buy fucking bog roll at the moment. Jesus. But it's some of the surprise things you find in there.
I've heard so many like horror stories, and it's just like, mate, buy food that can go in lots of different ways.
Yeah.
Buy them a tin of mixed beans. buy them a tin of tomatoes or passata or vegetable stock or whatever.
Yeah.
Give them shit that can, like a bag of rice.
Oh, mate, it's amazing when you open these things. It's sort of like, oh God, I got in one of them. I got 3 bags of microwave rice.
Mm.
Yeah, I live on a yacht without a microwave. It's fucking handy stuff.
Yeah.
But you have to be creative with your food.
But
But
I get, and I get it's for everyone, but equally, one bag of microwave rice is the same as probably a massive fucking bag of fucking rice.
Yes, exactly. I know it's sort of like the thought that counts. The thought that counts. But I do go, what the fuck are you thinking? What the fuck are you thinking? I mean, classics, just as you said. I mean, I got tins of spaghetti, and I'm there going, brilliant. So I get to have a tin of spaghetti. What am I going to use that in? That is spaghetti on toast. Baked beans are brilliant. They'll go in fucking anything. They'll go in anything. But you know,
do you know the best thing to do with baked beans?
Chili.
Blend them up and use that as your curry base.
Oh, you see.
One tin of beans. Throw in all of your spices. Blend it up. That's your curry base. Boom, done.
Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't just project comedy. It is recipes with Gabe.
Yeah.
And every recipe includes potatoes. So,
yeah.
Mate, this will amuse you because it's just in sight. It's just in sight.
Can include.
There we go. It is the biggest box of instant mashed potato you can ever possibly imagine. I'm still trying to work out what the fuck I'm going to do with that. It's because it's one portion. This is one point. It's not multiple portions. It's just a single portion. So
that is an Irish portion. I will have that. That's not a problem. You give me that box, and I'll delete it. It's not a problem. I'll smash that box to oblivion.
Another one I saw, and again, I can't claim credit for it, but it just gets the brain racing. There was a compare and contrast about electricity prices in the UK and France. And because we've got, privatized electricity and blah, 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 blah. And they were talking about how much our electricity bills have gone up over the last 5 years. Whereas the French, because it's nationalized, it's only gone up, I think it was by about 7% in the last 5 years. And then the joke that comes at the end of it is, the French lady turns around and goes, yes, because EDF is nationalized. We've been able to, hold on a second, my energy provider is EDF. But, oh yeah, I know. Because the great British public have just given us several £billion into our electricity that is nationalized, and it's suddenly makes you go, hang on a second, right, let's turn this energy crisis onto its head to where it needs to be. I understand there's problems with the Ukraine and getting gas through and what have you. The problem is our energy is being provided by private companies wanting to make as much money as they can. That's where the humor is.
I think this delves into the whole Brexit side of life.
Yeah.
Like, basically, if you voted for Brexit, you're a fucking idiot.
Let's see how many more listeners we can alienate.
No. Hang on, I've got a way out. Or you're a racist. It was literally that. Right. You literally sold your soul to say that we'll have control over our seas. Grand. Nobody wants to buy the fish in our seas.
Yeah.
You also said like, oh yeah, we'll have like we'll sell everything. Grand. The biggest market you've just left doesn't want fucking anything to do with you anymore. Oh, it's to stop the free move of people. It hasn't stopped the movement of people at all. Anyone who can claim asylum here can still fucking claim asylum here. You fucking idiots.
Yeah.
It infuriates me as well because
it made me laugh. It made me laugh at the beginning of the holidays, the school holidays. Because I think I told you this gag. It was that moment.
Is the Calais border thing?
Yeah, in Kent and what have you. How dare the French insist on using the rules we said that we wanted? How dare the French listen to what we say and actually enact it?
The thing is, though, it's like, oh, yeah, nice one. You've just, like, pulled your thing out of the party that we're in. Grand. I tell you what we'll do. We'll really help you. We will go out of our way to help you be a dickhead. We're gonna really do that. Honestly, how did anyone not think that this was gonna happen?
I just love. I'll tell you what. It links me back in. It links me back into that unaware racism, the casual racism thing. It's sort of like
the funniest thing as well is if you turn it around and you did it the other way, everyone would be going like that. Oh mate, I'd be telling Europe it's not on. It's not on, and you're not having our people. You're not having them. You're not having them. And you know what? We're not going to have a backlog of people at our border. We're going to have a backlog of people at your border because we're going to let them through. We're going to let them through. It's going to be great. It's not going to be a problem. We'll pass them through. And you know what? Hey, we're not going to let anyone in.
It's like the equivalent of what I was thinking of writing about. It's sort of like going to Euro Disney, but you refuse to pay for the all access pass, but you want to jump every fucking queue. No. You've been paying for the all access pass for the last 25 years. Yeah, you've got used. No, you're at the back of the queue now. Why is he going before me? Because he's German? No, because he's paid for his fucking all access pass.
The funniest thing that I've ever thought about it all as well is like England and the UK being on the outer corner of the largest market in the world.
Yeah.
Effectively, the UK were a little outside of Sainsbury's. And then now everyone's going in, just going like, why aren't they listening to us? Because they don't give a flying fuck. Why would the entirety of Europe give a flying fuck about what you say?
Yeah.
You're you've effectively become a massive. You've gone from being a shark in a relatively medium-sized pond to being a sardine in an ocean.
That links me in nicely to one of the other topics I put down here is trust in politicians. Because it depresses the fuck out of me, but you know what? At the same time, it makes me laugh my fucking tits off.
Honestly, right, I have this discussion with my mother quite a lot, and I honestly think that the main goal in her life at the minute is to just wind me the fuck up. Because she says the most stupid shit. Like, she said, Thatcher, she did well for the soldiers. What? By sending them to fucking war. Cheers, pal. Yeah.
And then and
Nice
then
one.
cut
By causing lots of post-traumatic stress disorder and lots of like physical issues and issues at the home and everything like. Oh yeah, Thatcher did a lot for the soldiers. Oh, and what did she do for the benefit? Oh yeah, she cut them. Oh, she cut them. She really looked after the soldiers. Oh, what them ones that were injured? Yeah. Honestly, I.
It doesn't matter which party you look at or what type of history. I mean, here's a truism that needs to be turned into a joke. We had more ships sunk during the Falklands campaign than we have ships in the Royal Navy at this precise moment. That is what every colour of politician has actually done for the services. There are more ships at the bottom of the South Atlantic than we have in the modern Royal Navy. Thank you very much, every colour and creed of politician.
Do you know the other thing that really gets me is like, when they turn, like Boris Johnson was always constantly going on saying like, we've got more people in employment now. Yeah, nice one. Yeah. You've got fucking 200,000 more fucking people in the fucking country.
Yeah.
Do you not think there's going to be more people in fucking employment with more people in the country?
And how many of those people are living on minimum wage? The old joke. Well, it's not even a joke, but I've actually seen people joking about it. I mean, the average person on the average wage cannot afford to buy the average price house in the UK. It is financially impossible.
No one can afford to buy an average price house in the UK. And the annoying thing is as well is that the vast majority of people who have actually got money are getting pushed out because it's they're saying like, we're actually looking for investors.
Yeah.
And the annoying thing as well is that you go to the bank and you say, oh yeah, nice one, I want to buy a house. And they go, yeah, you rent 800 quid a month. If we give you a mortgage, it's going to be 600 quid a month, but we won't give it to you because you're too much of a risk.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, giving people 200 quid a month, 50 quid a week. That's going to make them a risk. Giving people 50 quid a week is going to make them a risk. Are you fucking stupid? Oh.
I mean, this
irritates the dick off me, mate. Honestly, it really irritates the shit out of me. Honestly,
I think this is one of the reasons that I do kind of enjoy, in inverted commas, politics, because I can look at every single political party and go, "You're all assholes." Yeah. Not a single one of you is any good. I mean, you've got these. This is beautiful. Thank Christ we're not Americans. Thank Christ we're not Americans. Then you've got the swing of the two parties. But you can go through every single party in the UK and go, knobheads. Because you've got a Labour Party run by a multi-millionaire barrister. Well done. That's really socialist, and your model actually fucks business off. You've got a Conservative Party that's only interested in capitalism, which means your workers can't afford to eat and actually travel to work. You got the Liberal Democrats that could, well, let's be honest about it. The Gary Glitter fan club has more members than the parliamentary party of the Liberal Democrats. You've got the fucking SNP, who are more batshit crazy than anything else. You got Plaid Cymru. You've got the Green Party. They're all fucking assholes. That's the only reason I can enjoy politics, is pointing out how much each party is fucking assholes.
Honestly, I'd love a fella to go up there and just go, hey, we're going to raise taxes. Everyone's going to feel the shit for a little while. But we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I'd love them to just be honest.
Honesty in politics, you absolute radical young man. That is a comedy routine in itself.
Isn't it? Can you imagine honesty in politics? Just like that. Oh, I'm only here because I suck the dick of my boss. Hey.
That could be an amazing comedy character, the honest politician. You're actually telling the fucking truth.
Incidentally, that was a bit of a dig at Boris. Not saying he sucked a dick. Not saying he sucked a dick to get there. However, I'm saying that a lot of people who are there sucked his dick.
Go on, another subject. Right, international tensions. Let's say we've had all the horrors in the Gaza Strip. We've got war in the Ukraine. We've got Russia doing its thing, trying to ally itself with Africa. We got the visit to Taiwan and China launching missiles. Hey, it's a great time, isn't it, mate?
How we are right now, right? And I'm fairly sure there's a lot of veterans out there. Why aren't we doing anything about the Ukraine?
I could give you the complicated answer, which is really boring, because we can't afford to invoke the article from NATO. If we did anything other than supply weapons, suddenly we are at war with Russia.
Right. So we invaded Iraq, and we did all that in 2003 with America and all that.
Yep.
Why?
Because again, the boring answer, because we didn't have to invoke Article 5, and we're not going up against a state being supported by one of the
So we invaded Iraq on the idea that they had weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah.
All that sort of shit. Why aren't we doing that now with Ukraine and Russia and North Korea?
And this goes back to what is the point? What is the point anymore of things like NATO, etc., etc.? NATO membership is effectively stopping us dealing with China. NATO membership is stopping us dealing with North Korea. NATO membership is stopping us dealing with Russia and the Ukraine, because it would really bring in the NATO coalition into war with one of those states.
I mean, I don't want us to be a fucking, Team America World Police kind of thing,
Albeit that's an amazing film.
America, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
All that sort of shit. Amazing film. I don't actually want it to be a thing. But there are people around the world getting massacred.
We
did it we did it in Bosnia, we did it on the Ivory Coast, and they're not part of all these things that we got involved in. It just seems like we're henpicking all the shit that we can get involved in. It seems like there's a big bully out there, and it's just like, I don't want to actually kick off with the cock of the school.
Do you know what this is making me
ass?
This is making me think of. Right, this is absolute comedy gold. It's actually really good for comedy. As an example, NATO membership. NATO membership is the thing that's stopping us from doing these sort of things. Effectively, our NATO membership is like being in a club that's got no function. Effectively, what we've done with NATO membership is we've taken out an insurance policy to prevent us being anally probed by aliens. We're paying loads of money into something that's never going to fucking happen. But at the same time, soon as somebody sees that membership, it turns off loads of other opportunities. We can't do X, Y, and Z because we are in that particular club. It's like turning up to a job interview and saying, I'm in the Church of Scientology and I want to put my own posters up. You're not getting the fucking job, because that's where it is. There is comedy to be written out of something as dark and as sinister as what's going on.
For me, it seems like someone's just got, he's turned up on his little push bike and he's gone, right, I'm going to count to 13. And it's like a few people have cottoned into the idea that he's counting down. And then a lot of the other people have gone like, oh shit, you counting down to 13. Like, why 13? And they're arguing over the shit. The idea is counting down from 13. and he's still counting down, and the only there's still people actually dealing with the shit that he's counting down from 13.
Yeah. Well,
and it just seems like we're sitting on the sidelines, just going like that. Hey, keep punching, pal. Keep punching.
and at this precise moment.
You took a big hit there.
And
it's like a Rocky movie, isn't it?
And his current countdown, I think, is at 3 3/4, because that's the way he's counting down to the actual decision moment. I know, but here's what
it just seems like the entire world are just gambling on the lives of the Ukrainians, just going like that. He's not going to do
it. Here's one for you.
all of us are just going like, I reckon we'll push him out, and he's there going like that. 3. Throwing in a couple of more missiles, a couple of more people die. Like 3, 2.5. The rest of us just going like that.
Here's another way to twist the humor out of it. Is okay. We've got. Let's take the 2 examples. 2 big examples recently. So we've got the war in Ukraine, and we've had Israel Gaza Strip. Hang on a second. Russia, superpower. How many men, women, arms, and what have you? Israel, one of the most technologically advanced militaries in the world. How long's the Gaza situation been going on for? Everybody thought that the Ukraine would be invaded in it was all going to be over in a week. These people are some serious motherfuckers. If they can they're toppling superpowers. They're toppling one of the most advanced militaries in the world, and they seem to be armed with strong language and a fucking stick. There's some humor to be played out of how tough these grannies are, actually holding at bay all of the technological advance.
Mate, honestly, I was on the brink about whether to just fuck off and go over there and start fighting, to be honest with you, because I think it's the right thing to do. Obviously, not political comedy. We're not endorsing anyone to do that.
Project Comedy does not endorse mercenary actions or becoming a soldier of fortune.
However, if you do that,
would you be interviewed on the next podcast?
Honestly, do you know the biggest thing that irritates the dick off me? All these people who are flying Ukraine flags here.
Yep. Yeah.
Here. You're flying a Ukrainian flag here. What the actual fuck is that doing?
Congratulations. What have you achieved? You know what? It's the equivalent of being an LGBTQ ally. I'm an ally to all these people. Well, fucking done. What are you actually fucking doing? What are you actually doing to help?
I honestly want every single person who's holding a flag, go out there and do some shit.
Yeah.
If you're not actually gonna do it, take your fucking flag down.
And there is the comedy again, isn't it? It's this. Oh well done, you. You've bought a lovely piece of fabric.
You spent £2 to show your. You spent £2 to show your allegiance.
And
if you're not going to do anything about it, fucking don't do it.
Effectively, what you've done is you've bought a bit of fabric that's come from China, and you suddenly feel virtuous. Well done. You've really helped all the people that are being shelled in Kiev. Well done.
You show the 5 people around you how you're supporting the fight there by actually probably paying the people who you're trying to support.
Do you know what, mate? You could actually make that into such a beautiful setup with that becoming the punchline of, I can't stand all these people that are just overly virtuous. You know the type of people I mean. Oh no, I'm not wearing that because there's a chance it could endanger polar bears. I'm certainly not buying this brand, but I do wear a little badge about it.
I only wear hemp
Yeah, and then suddenly, but the worst of the lot are these fuckers flying Ukrainian flags. What the fuck are you actually achieving?
Honestly, they really are. You know, the worst thing as well, I saw someone who had 3 Ukrainian flags on the car.
Yeah.
3 of them. Three Ukrainian flags on the car. So only 3 people in your fucking house are supporting it.
It's like, right, I'm going to draw a stupid comparison because it's there for the humor. It's like all of these guys that suddenly decided after years of going, it's a pile of shit, are starting to claim some degree of credit for the Lionesses winning the female Euros.
Don't even get me started on it. Honestly, like I've always been a big advocate for, like, you know, females doing sport and doing their own sport and the annoying thing is that we're gonna have to address the transgender stuff.
Do you know what? I was kind of impressed by that, and it's one I'm going to put into one of my sets. Because have you seen what the triathlon community have done? They've created an open category, so you can enter as male, female, or open, and I think that's the way forward.
Yeah.
We've had this Wade versus Roe thing in America.
Yeah.
Wade versus Roe. So taking it out of the Constitution as constitutional right, the right to abortion, and it was a question I was asked. I'm going to turn it into comedy for myself. And they went, well, so what's your opinion on the right to abortion? And I went, I'm a bloke, I shouldn't have one. It's not my fucking body that would ever have to have it. I don't have enough, I'm not entitled to make a decision like that because I am a bloke, I would never have to carry it. So unless I'm informed enough, I can't do anything with it. But there is the comedy in it. It is sort of like, actually, that is a perfectly valid view of mine I've got that actually throws it into a new light. If expecting me to go, am I pro-life, am I pro-choice, blah, 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 blah. You can throw it around and still have humor with it.
Personally, I think that you should say if anyone voted Boris Johnson in, they should then be aborted.
Before I could do the exit link, it reminds me, because my accent gets told off for it all the time, a joke by the late, and I thought he was wonderful, Jethro. He had his little comedy character, Denzel Penberthy. And apparently Denzel's mum went up to the doctor and said, I want to have an abortion. And the doctor turned around and said, well, seeing as he starts school next week, I think it's a bit late. So just to wrap up then, mate, is there anything we can't joke about, and can we turn the terrible into funny?
Oh, Jesus. I think the only way of getting through life these days is to actually turn the terrible into funny.
Yeah.
You know, people have got jokes about kids being killed and now abortions and all that sort of stuff. There's so much horrible shit going on in the world. I'm the darkest person in our group.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I honestly think that without the dark, you can't see the light.
Totally agreed.
So,
and if I honestly believe...
So as dark as everything gets, as shitty as everything is, surely it only highlights the good stuff.
I mean, if I, in my own way,
I know it might be like fucking character shattering for all the cunts around there who think that I'm fucking horrible and and all that. But yeah, I'm actually a decent guy, and as dark and horrible as the world gets, surely there's more out there that can only get brighter.
I mean, if I turn it into my own words that I came out with at the beginning, and then I'll turn them into almost Jay Sodegar theory. As long as you're Jay Sodegar, currently performing his one-man show up in Edinburgh, it must be said, do look him up on the Edinburgh Fringe Guide. I hear he's having a great time up there. You'll love the fact I've done that. But it's the fact of, I always say it's all about intent. It's all about what are you actually saying? What do you want to come out of it? And as long as you're not trying to create harm, it's fine. But it was just as we were discussing that then, it suddenly took me back to the 3 key words that Jay Soller gave us on the beginner's course. Comedy is about those 3 things. It's about connection, performance, and material.
True.
And it's know your audience. There are jokes you can tell in different environments. But as stand-up comics, think about your joke and think of, can you connect it to your audience? If you can't find humor that connects with your audience, there's your rule. That's something you are not going to say. You've got to find a way of connecting with your audience that they find funny. The subject matter doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whatsoever, as long as you're doing it with the right intent and you're connecting with them so they find the funny. I think that is the key. There is no subject that is off the table that you cannot joke about. Does that make sense?
Unless it's like megally highly racist or homophobic or whatever.
But hopefully you've got some idea of how we can turn, the frightful into funny, how we can actually just talk about any particular subject. Gabe, as always, mate, probably our most miserable episode we've ever done because we've been talking about some dark shit.
Oh,
but,
I'm gonna challenge that in the future.
Well, once again, mate, it's been an absolute delight to speak to you. As always, we'll finish off with the various links on how you can follow us on social media, join Project Comedy on Facebook, etc., etc. So until next time.
If you want to see what we're actually like on stage, please have a look at our YouTube channel. Search for Project Comedy, Veterans Doing Stand-Up, and look for our black and white logo that's exactly the same as the one we use for this podcast. You can also now follow us on Twitter. We can be found at Proj Comedy. That's at PROJ Comedy. And me, Jay Saunders, I can be found on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter if you look for Comic Jay Saunders. That's all one word with the letter J in the middle. Comic Jay Saunders. Thanks again to everyone that's taken part in this episode. Until next time. Thanks for listening to the Project Comedy Podcast. Please support our veterans as they continue their comedy journeys. To find out more, including gigs our veterans are doing, please search for the Project Comedy group on Facebook, where you'll also find links to Project Recce, the veterans charity that makes Project Comedy possible.